there was actually a bunch of people who died working on that bridge. First of all, my partner died in front of me on that bridge.
What?
Yeah, in the substation by the where the police are. He's taking a delivery. A UPS system fell over and killed him. And then before he died, like I would say a year earlier on the same project, a painter fell off the bridge and died. So within like that year that we were doing that job, like people were, it was pretty crazy. I'm actually a third generation Local 3 electrician. So my dad and my grandfather were both in Local 3, the union in the city, and they were both electricians.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Down Podcast. Feels like it's been a minute. It has been, because now we are doing the pod once a month with a big focus on the cigars and events. Right, Joss?
Yes. So that's a little something that we'll discuss as we get later on the episode. Before we would like to introduce our guest, but
You got someone in the studio.
we
Someone
got someone in the
special.
studio, and I don't want to take away from that time. We might discuss it as we get in the podcast. But yes, you are right. Once a month, we're going to focus more on the cigars. But our guest today,
Let's hear it. What do we got?
Mike Lelia.
No, I said it right.
Yes.
I said it right.
You
I said it right.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some things that we're working with.
From where?
From Lelia. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Lelia
Electric.
Yep. But I don't know. Lelia Electric Corporation.
Just Lelia Electric.
We got the electrical contract in the building. We got a contractor here, all right?
Contractor. Listen, we got Mike Lelia in the building, okay? And we got some things that we're talking about. Maybe not so much from the Lelia Electric side. We're going to get into the Lelia Electric
I like to
side.
have fun, so.
But we're talking about some stuff maybe with a little collaboration between Lelia and the Burn Down,
absolutely.
But we got
Mike, welcome.
Mike, welcome.
You're on the
Lelia
pod.
Electric.
First pod?
Mike Lelia.
Yeah, it's
first pod.
Hell yeah, let's go. We love them first timers on the podcast.
So now Lelia Electric Corp is electrical contracting.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that you're like a general contractor when it comes to electric. Is it residential? Is it commercial?
We're a sub of a general contractor.
Sub of a general contractor.
So a general contractor will get a house and they call us.
And then they call you.
Yeah, or a commercial job or whatever.
So do you have work with a team like licensed electricians and you guys do?
Yeah, my whole company's licensed.
So you guys are basically electricians that'll do the
the whole job.
So, and that's where I was a little confused because I was like,
What were you confused about? He's an electrical contractor.
yeah, I know, but like, is that different from electrician? Like electrician works for electrical contractor?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so there you go.
We're an electrical company that the electricians work for.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So you're the guy. Now, do you do residential and commercial or what?
We do everything. We do residential, commercial, and industrial.
And industrial.
Yeah, so we do everything.
Okay,
Yeah, buddy.
so that's where it's like, that's a little bit different, right? Because you have one electrician that might come and replace my outlet. But no, he's got a company that's going to build a fucking skyscraper.
Well, we could come replace your outlet too. We could do that, or build a skyscraper.
Or build a skyscraper.
We could do either or. We do everything.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, there you go.
Sky's the limit for my boy Mike.
So that's cool. So when did you like, were you an electrician before, like, you started this company?
Yeah.
And then were you working for a company you wanted to branch off? Like, how did you get in to say, you know what, I'm going to do my own freaking thing here?
So I'm actually a third generation Local 3 electrician. So my dad and my grandfather were both in Local 3, the union in the city, and they were both electricians.
Union.
So
Yeah.
So that's what the local 3. I'm not familiar
Local
with the
3 is in the
union
city, right?
code.
Local 3 is New York City. Local 25 for electricians are Long Island.
So I'm not familiar with the union stuff, but local number is the union.
Yeah, is the union. Yeah.
Now, what exactly is like the union? Is that like a group of guys that are?
Almost inhaled there.
Yeah, don't inhale a cigar, my friend.
Like, what constitutes a union? Like this local 5, local 23, local whatever.
You want the real answer? It's just the pay.
Just the pay?
Just the pay. They pay you more when you're union.
There you go. I like it.
It's really the only
Simple.
difference.
Like, why'd you get into the union? Because I make more money.
Yeah.
And
basically.
I'm protected.
More money, more benefit.
And
benefits.
You are protected.
And I'm protected.
And you are protected.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were third generation.
Yeah, so I grew up doing electrical work my whole life with my parents, my dad, and helping them out around the house doing electrical and stuff. And I came out of college at like 22, had nothing really to do. So my dad was like, go to the union. So
Did you go to school to be an? It's like a trade school for electrician, right?
So I went to college, and then when I went into the union, they send you to a trade school.
Okay.
So I went back to school.
You went to college, what'd you go to school for?
Partying.
Partying. Yeah. Not what's the
A mastery in partying.
what is it? Undecided, right? When you're freshman year, undecided, aka I want to party. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in the engineering exploration program.
I was finding myself. I was finding who
what are
I
you
wanted
gonna
to be.
Don't know. I kind of have an idea, but I'm not really sure.
Where was it? Where'd you go to school?
William Patterson University.
William Patterson University. Where is that?
It's in Jersey.
Jersey.
Is it in Patterson, New Jersey?
It is.
Oh, shit.
Well, it's actually like one campus, half of it's like in Wayne, and then it's like right there in Patterson too, kind of like, so it's like it's all over the place, but there's different campuses, but yeah, it's pretty much in Patterson / Wayne area.
Okay.
So.
I actually used to go to Wayne, PA quite a bit because I had a customer that was there, and Wayne was like the closest town to the customer, and I actually stayed at the Wayne Hotel a little bit, and they had a bar there called like the American Grill that was in Wayne, and it was
Wayne, Pennsylvania, though?
Wayne, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Wayne, New Jersey, though.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
a little different, but yeah.
Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling fine. That's Wayne, PA was different. Okay, different story.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so then when did you start? So you
So local 3, right?
Go to college, right? You said, all right, I'm going to go to school, and then I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to be electrician, kind of go to trade school, become local 3. When was it to the point where you're like, you know what?
How long were you in the union for?
Probably about almost 15 years.
Oh shit! All right, so
you were okay.
I
So
seen some shit.
I
seen some shit.
So you were in the thick of it.
Oh yeah.
And then you were like, all right, maybe it's time to.
Well, COVID hit, and that's when I started my business in 2020, March of 2020. And, COVID came around, and everyone was getting laid off, and then you get the cycle, and you go around and around where, it is what it is. Because COVID, people were sitting out for 8-9 months, in a union. And I was like, I'm just going to start my own business. I had a lot of side work going on.
I was going to say, during COVID, were you able to kind of, because, like, people were still at home.
Yeah. So
and they still might have had some stuff that needed to be
Well, I want to go back a little bit to the union side, right? Because that's no joke.
I'm going to grab the charger for the thing here. That's what I was looking at.
For the
I want to make
for the audio.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's charged.
So 15 years. So you went through the whole program, apprenticeship. Do you become a master electrician in the union? Is that how?
No.
That's separate.
You
right?
need 7 years under a master electrician to even apply for a master electrician.
Okay.
So once you get your 7 years under a master electrician, then you could apply, and then you take a test, and then you get your master license.
And you can still be in the union as a master electrician, obviously, because you got to be under somebody else.
To own your own company, you need a master electrician.
Yes. Okay. So were you just all over the 5 boroughs, or were you like in a specific section or borough?
In the union, mostly Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's just versus on the companies that I was working for. But I was working for some of the other companies that did like a lot of street work, like the light posts and like the stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I mean that was pretty cool. That's why I said I've seen some shit because I did some. I can't knock Local 3 because I did some cool stuff with them. Things that you would never even imagine.
Like what?
I mean?
What are we talking here?
Like, listen, I did the Throgsneck Bridge. I was hanging off the side of it. It was pretty cool.
Wait, what were you doing?
Wait, hold the phone.
Yeah. Listen, someone's got to change the light bulbs on the top of the trade centers.
Hold the phone. She's got a cannon. Okay.
Yeah.
You would change. So you would like the guy. What's the? It's that show where they say like there's the jobs. Like,
Dirty Jobs.
And the guy's like got to change a light bulb on top of a tower, and he does one job a year. Gets
so you on the side of the Throgsneck Bridge?
Yeah, you walk up the catwalk on the side, and then you go. Like the top pier. There's actually railing.
Not like there. Not like the actual like sides. Because when
you walk up the cable.
Yeah, the cable. You walk up the side cable. It's the.
What?
That's literally actually the Throgsneck Bridge. You could there's 2 ways of getting up there. There's either you walk up the side, like as you said, side cable.
Yeah,
because they got like there's and you hook onto the railing as you go up.
Hook onto it and you walk up, which is a pain in the ass. And then even more of a pain in the ass is actually if you look at the Throgsneck, which most bridges inside, you know how it has the what the hell's that called? The big
where the cables connect to the top. Yeah.
So if you go inside there's actually a ladder that you can go all the way up, and that's like you talk about dirty jobs. That's like
that's a scary
dirty, and I'm talking that area is about this big.
There's no
So,
way it'd be
yeah, so
I'd be like,
No
fuck
way.
that. No way.
No.
I did the research though on it. When you go to the top, it's 488 feet to, I believe, to the street, and then another 250 feet to the water.
So wait, it's 480 feet to the street, which is 48 stories,
Yeah,
and then another 250 to the water.
yeah.
So that's 730. That's 73 stories. That's basically 3/4 of the Empire State Building.
Yeah, it's big.
How did you?
To the water. You hit that water, it's like concrete.
Yeah.
So what are you actually doing electrical wise for the?
I change an outlet.
Yeah.
Actually,
The 12. The
you're
What'd
pretty
you
right.
charge? $100,000. I change an outlet.
Funny you say that because that job was we were changing out all the cameras up there.
You changing out the cameras?
Yeah, cameras. That's what we were doing. So
What'd you charge them?
it wasn't my company. I was a local 3.
Yeah, so you were just doing the
but
job.
I think because I remember speaking to them because it was a public works job. I think it was somewhere in the range of like $15 million to do that.
To do that job?
To do that job. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it was
All
a
right,
package.
hold on a second.
I'm sure it was a package to do a bunch of other stuff.
Well, yeah,
I got a
you have to
question
run a
about
pipe
that
all the way
budget.
from the substation all the way
Yeah.
up.
I
so
got
it's a lot
I
of
have some
work.
concerns about that budget. How many millions are going into somebody's pocket with that budget?
I'm sure a lot.
Oh, we got to fix a light bulb.
Bro.
$7 million.
Bro, you know how many contractors, rich contractors are in the city?
Dude,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, it's
When you're like, you have a job when it's like, oh, it's $100 million to do this job, and they come in, we could do it for $90 million. You know what? I forgot. We got to do this one bathroom over here, and we missed it. You know what? We're gonna requote it. Oh, magically, it's $105 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd that extra $15 million go?
Yeah, no doubt.
Right in somebody's
That's
pocket.
how it works.
That's exactly how it works. Okay.
You got to remember though, on a big job like that, you got to put up millions to even.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
Saying,
But like,
so-
listen, it's.
you gotta
'cause why
get,
would-
you gotta
like,
get bonded. You got to get all this
But here-
backing and shit.
The thing
yeah.
is, when you think about it, like.
When
When you
insurance
think,
guy.
but when you think about it, everybody does it. Like on a much smaller scale, let's say you have a business, right? Somebody's got and you're doing a job for somebody, right? Where my stepfather used to do it all the time. Where it's like you got a job, all right, go to this customer. What do you need? I need X, Y, and Z. All right, hold on a second. He goes to somebody else. All right, I need you to make X, Y, and Z. And they're like, oh, I can do it for $100 a pop. All right. Go back to this part. I can do it for $150 a pop. It's like they just upcharge you.
Yeah,
It's like
that's how it is.
It's everybody is. You do a quote like how much it's going to cost you. It's going to cost me $50,000 to do it. I'm going to charge them $100.
Yeah.
There's the middleman. That's how business works. You do it.
It's not even that. It's besides the middleman, but you're talking. You got overhead too. You got to realize you don't even. You got your insurances. How expensive your insurances are. You got vans. You got employees. You got
There's a lot.
and you still got to make $1 yourself.
Yeah.
So-
Well, the other thing is like you had said, the insurance too. Because
Insurance
okay,
is
great,
insane.
we got to replace a light bulb. That light bulb might cost $100 up there.
Yeah.
But the insurance to have somebody go up there in case they fall off costs a hell of a lot more than the light bulb itself.
I don't even want to know what the insurance costs for that Throgzak job. There's probably $1 million just alone on the insurance. You know what I mean?
It might have been its own insurance
Well,
program for
I
Had
will,
to
I
be,
will say
right?
this: Local 3 is their own insurance.
Yeah.
They're self-insured. So I mean, so they might have it in on that area. But
Well, the union guys, they all the workers' compensations all within with the EEISP or whatever
Yeah.
it's called. But yeah, I mean it's a pretty fucking penny, no doubt. So were you were you kind
By
of
the way, I don't mean to cut you off right here.
Yeah.
I don't think we've cheersed.
No, we didn't.
didn't
I was
cheers.
worried about. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a
To my
sin.
boy Mike.
It's a sin. Like,
Cheers.
listen, here you go.
Thanks for coming out from where are you, Westchester or Connecticut today? Coming
Yeah,
down.
where were you coming?
Westchester.
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 Yeah,
always,
Westchester.
always repping Westchester.
He's a Westchester boy.
Westchester. Okay, so
So now you're on the Throgzak Bridge, but is it like, are you scared? Are you nervous? Or are you
I'm never really afraid of heights, so I mean.
see? I'm
well, you're also like you have safety equipment.
Oh yeah, you got a harness. Your harness is up. You're connected. Actually,
It's like if you
You're
do
supposed to
if you
be.
do slip, you're not
Yeah.
falling. You're going to be behind.
when I was actually up there, I didn't lock off. I didn't connect or have a harness on because I was
really?
Yeah, because I just went up there for like the first time. I
maybe you
went up there,
shouldn't.
like,
Maybe I don't know. Maybe you should.
Yeah, OSHA might be listening. I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt OSHA's listening to our show.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was a real interesting. Actually, that job was an insane job. If you really want me to talk about that job, I could talk about it.
You're
because-
probably like I'm clipping on. I can't fucking. Fuck the.
Well, I get hit you with some shit on that job. Well, can I
of course.
Yeah.
Curse what the fuck you
So-
supposed to say.
I know. I've spoken to Eric about that job a little bit when I talk about the birds. Did I tell you about I told you about the birds, right?
No.
I thought we talked about that.
All right. Well, now I'm curious. Tell me about the birds.
So there's actually like hawks that live up there on the top. They have houses up there on the top of the Throgs Lake Bridge.
They've, like
all the
like
bridges.
man-made houses that they've built for the hawks.
Yep. They have man-made houses. And
What is that? Is there a reason for that, or is it just like
they're protected? Those birds are protected.
Oh, so they're building it as part of like, hey, well,
Nature preserve or whatever.
nobody else is going.
And
really.
there's actually one guy, I believe, in the city in New York that actually like he controls all these birds. So there's like birds on the top of the Empire State Building. There's birds, and there's one guy that controls all this. This is what I found out on this job, which
That's a heck of a job.
you can check
man.
and see if it's
And
real.
you say control, you mean like...
So I'm going to give you an example. Like, so when we have to go up to the top to do the cameras, we had to call the guy, and you can't go up there until he comes and he removes the bird.
So he's like a bird handler.
Yeah, and there's only this one guy in all of the city. He does, and he'll remove the bird in the house, I guess.
How do you get
to
that
someone-
job?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like what's your school program? Bird handler at Harvard University.
Yeah.
How
What I want to
get
know
that
is,
job?
What does he do all day? Just sit around waiting for a phone call?
No,
Gotta move a bird.
That's a job you just fall into. Like
Yeah.
it was like a one-off, and then someone was like, "We could do this like all over." And
Yeah,
now
that's
you're the
what-
guy.
That's like the guy they just had the interview of. When the Super Bowl happened, the guy who paints the logos and the yardage lines on the field. He's like, yeah, I was just. They're like, how'd you get into this? Like, I was just right the place, right time, and
Yeah.
they had an opening, and now I've been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah,
and he's
that's
the
crazy.
guy. Like he goes, they fly me around. I'm the guy
That's
that
sick.
paints the logo, and I go like, that's awesome.
That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So there was a guy, met some person in a coffee
it.
shop. He's like, hey, I got a job for you. What's the job? You're going to be in charge of all the birds in New York City.
That's you know what? That's you. That's
Cool.
you. Good.
That's your job.
Sold. But that, like I said, that job was crazy, and that, like I said, is one of my craziest jobs, and I'll explain why. Because a fact about that job, which no one realizes or no one knows, and you can look this up in the paper, there was actually a bunch of people who died working on that bridge. And
building it or doing what you were about to do?
So first of all, my partner died in front of me on that bridge.
What?
Yeah, in the substation by the where the police are. It's taking a delivery. A UPS system fell over and killed him.
A UPS what?
God.
UPS system. It's an uninterrupted system where it's like a big battery pack. Basically, it weighs
What is
like
that,
3,000
uninterrupted
pounds.
power system?
Yeah. So it's basically weighs like 4,000 pounds. They're a huge, big battery system, and he was pushing it off the truck, and it fell over and crushed him. Killed him.
Holy shit! And you were right there.
We were all right there. It was
my
pretty crazy.
Gosh, man.
And then before he died, like I would say a year earlier on the same project, a painter fell off the bridge and died. So within like that year that we were doing that job, like people, it was pretty crazy. So
Now that power, is that like the backup system in case
yeah, it's
like it loses power? You still need to have lights
yeah. So if you lose power, it'll run for like 24 hours or some shit. You know what I mean?
because you need to have power for the ships and planes.
you need lights, cameras, action.
Yeah, you don't want to
need all
happen.
that.
What happened? What in Maryland or whatever that was with the ship crashing into
yeah.
the bridge? All right.
You don't want none of that. So
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
So damn, you see,
It's just-
you seen your buddy die right in front of you.
yeah.
Gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
It was
That's-
really. I mean, this was 15. No, it was,
doesn't matter how long
Yeah,
ago
so
it was.
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's rough.
he was a good guy too. He
That's
was a good
rough,
guy,
man.
So.
Well, cheers to
Just
him.
cheers to Nick.
Cheers to Nick.
Cheers
God
to Nick.
bless.
That's rough, man. Oh.
All right. Besides the bridge job, anything else interesting?
I mean, yeah. There's I could go on. For
I'm sure you
hours.
could. I
could
know,
talk
I know
for
you could.
hours. I mean,
Well, let's
The Local 3 Chronicles.
Yeah,
your own
I can go
podcast,
on
right?
for hours.
let's go into this because I imagine there's gonna be more stories. But so you're at the Local 3. You said you were there for 15 years, give or take. What made you? Now you said COVID happened,
yeah.
and then coming out of COVID, you had the idea of, all right, maybe I'm gonna do my own.
Well, I've always wanted to. That was my dream.
So
To,
you always
to
have
have my
always
own
wanted
business.
to.
Yeah.
Now you
Always.
said you were third generation. Did your so was your father and your grandfather?
They were in Local 3.
They were in local. Did
Yeah.
they own their own thing,
No.
or they were just local?
They were Local 3.
So you're
They
like
were-
first generation owner.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
So technically now I would be just a third generation electrician, not a Local 3 guy anymore.
Not a Local 3
Yeah.
guy.
Which-
I mean, but you were. But now
Yeah.
you're like, I'm taking it one step further.
Maybe I get big enough. I join Local 3. I don't know. That'd be great.
So what? So COVID made you. You always wanted to do something, but then COVID kind of forced your hand a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they were given. They were everyone. Obviously, COVID. No one was working.
Yeah.
A lot of us are considered emergency service people, the electricians, but they don't need that many guys. So they laid off a lot of guys. And, you know, if you weren't one of the boys, then you got the can. So it was, and it was a long wait, too. So how Local 3 works is you can't go out and solicit your own work. You have to wait for them to call you.
Oh, yeah.
So when you get laid off,
you're part of a group.
Yeah, so when you get laid off, you got to call them and say, wait's 8 months, brother, sorry. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
You're kind of waiting for, like, COVID happens, you got to call them up and be like, listen, I got to wait. Now, I imagine that there's probably some guys who are like, listen, well, I'm not going to freaking wait around all day. If I got a couple, you know, Angie's List, I can put my name on there. I got a couple of jobs here and I can get some cash, right?
Yeah.
People are doing that. Everybody does that, right?
Everyone does side work.
Because you're like, listen,
I feel like that's a lifeblood of a contractor's side work.
People probably, like, you're in the union, you probably work all day. They do weekend jobs. Yeah, if I can get paid a couple $100 to go change your freaking outlet, fine. I'm going to do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, that's how I started. It was
Why not?
Literally, I had so much side work piling up, and I was like, I just do this full time. Screw it. You know what I mean? Like,
how did you get all that side work?
Just word of mouth, really. At first, just word of mouth. You know, a guy knows a guy and needs something done. And I actually moved at the time when I started my business. I moved into a community in Rybrook, and the whole community found out. You know, I started my business, and they literally just took me under their wing, and I was doing. It was actually the Arbors in Rybrook, which is a townhouse community.
Yeah,
and
Arbor, sure.
You know, the property manager reached out to me, and next thing I knew, I was doing their light post, and then everyone, you know, my name was out there.
You got hooked up.
I got hooked up, and
that's all it takes, man.
Everyone in the housing market over there was just like, you know, I need an electrician or this, that, and the other thing, and you know, I reached out to a bunch of real estate agents, and you know. Common thing is, you know, they just did an inspection. They need a GFI here, like stupid, easy stuff, and that's really how it started. You know,
Yeah.
You had said you do residential, commercial, and industrial.
Yeah.
How far is your reach? You said you're in Westchester, Eastchester,
Westchester.
How far, like, do you go out? Do you go like all the way upstate? Do you go into other?
We have. I mean, in the beginning, we have. So, I mean, we're really only licensed in Westchester. You can get reciprocals in like. The Brewster area and different areas, but
what's a reciprocal? What's that?
So you just apply for a license over there because you're already a Westchester
Oh,
license,
okay.
and they give you a license temporarily.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't.
Sure. So it's like you have a license to complete your job, and then your license is.
Yep. Yeah.
So like, would you go up to? I don't even know what the county is, but like Lake George area?
Nah,
you wouldn't go that far.
No, absolutely not.
Well,
yeah, so I mean,
Ixnay's my idea.
You have. I knew you were going to ask him.
I'd go for you. Right? I'd go for you. Don't worry.
My wife and I are we're building a home in Lake George for like a vacation home, and we're having it done up until like the rough-in, and then we're gonna do everything else internally.
So you know what electrical contractor is.
So yeah, so I was gonna be like, I might need somebody to. I got a GC who's gonna do most, but I was like, I might need somebody to finish the.
Make that happen.
It's construction upstate is a way different animal than it is down here. Like
I know,
I laid back. Like I'll get back to it when I can.
I know.
I won't show up for a month, and
it's taking forever.
Because I mean, in my house upstate, we're doing like you're doing a whole house. We're just doing like a 10-foot addition extension on the kitchen and adding a bedroom and a bathroom, and we started that I don't know last year. And the GC, he just like I'll get to it when I can, and I'll get because we're not up there, so there's no real rush. But for us down here, it's like done.
So my GC is great. He's not that type of guy. He's fantastic, but it was some of the other guys like the survey. Dude, it took me like 6 to 8 weeks just for a guy to go out there and do like a couple of freaking measurements with the tape, a little laser, bang, here you go. Like, I'm like, really? 8 freaking weeks for this? Like,
how was your architect?
So we actually had, we did a prefab house.
Okay.
So they had like the plans and all that stuff. But even so, like with the plans, because you had to get them like stamped and they had to have certain energy codes. They didn't have the codes, and then it was back and forth with this. But it was like just little things. Like, I got to get a survey done because you have to have a survey to show where the house is going to be, and that took so long. And I'm like, and then to get the permits, oh my gosh, it's like all it is a person to say, this is what I'm going to build on here. Fucking stamp it and send it back. No, it's got to be 2 weeks. I got to do this.
It's all about the money.
Yeah.
It's all
so
about the money.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But to the that's why I bring it. I was like, do you go to Lake George? Maybe I could use a...
Like I said,
any
for you, I can make it happen.
Any person
Don't
in the
worry
construction,
about it.
just know, hey, you go upstate by any chance? I might need a guy.
Listen, man.
Hey, can
you
I
got
ask?
your biggest client
It
from this show, okay?
It doesn't hurt to
No,
ask.
I'm saying you can't hurt to ask.
Listen,
Yeah.
we're the cameras aren't even on. This isn't even recording. We're just having a conversation, and I'm just getting to know you. Listen,
I would do the same thing. When you would go upstate.
You can help me. I can help you. I can give you some business. You can help build my house. Like, listen,
All about it.
listen.
All about it.
I'll hear a little.
Oh, that's probably mine. Hold on.
Come on, bro. Oh,
There
yeah.
you go. It fixed it.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, nice. So
I think if I touch it a little bit, it loosens up.
yeah, probably.
Excellent. I'd like to move around a little bit more.
So when did you wake up one day and you're like, all right, I'm gonna put all my eggs in this basket and start up my own electrical business?
Literally when they laid me off.
When you,
They laid me off.
the next day you're like, I'm in.
You're like, well, I got nothing else to lose.
It wasn't me, really. It was my wife. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time, but she was like, all right, well, I don't want you just sitting around waiting for them to call you. And she was like, what are you going to do? I was like, all right, let's just start the business. And we talked about it, and we just went for it. So, I mean, it was kind of like the right timing, being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Everything just connected. Everything just came at once. And at the
Well, you
time,
said you got hooked up with that, the property manager of the
exactly.
complex,
So-
and you're like, so that was kind of like
everything exactly.
A great way
Everything
to get started,
happened
yeah.
at once, and it just tumbled and kept going from there. And
What was
now
the-
you have that as like a, because I imagine being a business owner when you first start, right? Getting a couple of these jobs here and there is great because you're kind of getting your feet wet. But once you get that one, big job, and you can say, hey, listen, this is now you kind of have some credibility. So when you're getting new jobs, be like, what did you do in the past? You can't be like, hey, I replaced this guy's outlet. I did this guy's house. Like, no, you see that apartment complex? I did all of that. And they're like, oh.
Well, that's what Instagram is for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You have a little
It's a good
credibility.
feeling too when you say,
Yeah.
I did that job.
Yeah, no doubt.
Credibility.
That was me.
Yeah.
What was like the biggest lesson you learned when you first started out your electrical business?
So the biggest lesson I learned is you gotta basically, actually kind of just learned it recently more so. You gotta more network and keep chasing. You just gotta keep going, because at one point I did have a big job and I thought I was the man for a little bit, and I micromanaged. That's actually a good lesson right there. I'm not to micromanage as much, and I really micromanaged this job. And instead of going out and getting more work for my guys, I was micromanaging. And then basically, long story short, when the job was over, I was holding my dick in my hand. I was like, what the fuck do I do now? Like,
Yeah, I did
fuck?
that. And
Yeah.
they're like, that's great. What's next? You're like,
exactly. I was like,
because if-
I don't know. Shit. You know
Because
what I mean? Like,
I heard that from we had a guy who owns a custom auto body shop up in Florida, New York, I think it is. GCD Auto.
I think
Auto.
it is. Yeah, Florida, New York.
And he does like high end like remodeling of cars
like 6-figure remodels.
Oh, nice.
for like cars, like
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Big.
He did stuff for like Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that. And one thing he told me,
You want some more?
yeah, a little more. Why not?
he was like,
Live a little, right?
Come on,
Live
we're talking
a
about our
little.
dreams. Come on,
Live
come
a
on.
little.
"Come on, it's our boat. Come on, let's talk about our
Come
dreams."
on. What if I told you I could sell this right now? I only do it for 4/5 commission. You know what gets my dick hard?
Helping out my friends.
You want to do movie quotes? We go movie quotes
forget
all
it.
day long.
You know
But
what's hilarious
he's-
though is he says 4/5 commission.
Yep,
Yeah.
he does.
80%
Yeah.
commission.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like big deal.
Yeah.
Standard is less than 2, by the way.
I'll only do it for 80% commission.
But what he said,
See these abs? You see these abs?
I haven't had a carb since 2004.
You want to punch me, don't you?
I wonder whose abs those really were.
Probably fake.
I lather this up with keys in the shower. Okay.
Because those were some nice abs, nice and
Were they, Eric?
oh yeah, they were nice
You
and
like
juicy
those
and
abs?
sweaty. They
Yeah,
might have
you
been
like-
mine. Might have been my abs.
All right, continue.
Sorry, I'm thinking about abs. What was I saying here? Oh, so I mean, what he said basically is relevant to any business owner or anyone that's trying to build. And he said, I was doing so many jobs with all my employees, I wasn't going out to getting work. So I had all these jobs, but once all those jobs finished, I was like, what else am I going to do? And I remember when we first met, we were discussing that, like, you were always out on the jobs that you got, all these big jobs. You're like, oh, this is amazing, but you weren't going out and getting more jobs. And you're like, what do I do now?
Instead of taking a step back and being like, listen, these guys can handle it.
Yep.
I'll touch on them when I need to.
Yeah.
But let them handle it. Let me focus on bringing.
And I feel like that helps out not like just a business owner in general, like giving those guys like the trust so you can grow and develop and they can grow and develop within themselves to be like, that's my foreman, that's my go-to guy. I don't need to come to the job now. I know he's got it.
And it's also good advice for anybody that's even like a sole proprietorship or like they're the only person in their business, right? And they're trying to start. It's like, listen, you have 100% of your time that you're devoting to work or to whatever this business is. You have to put a portion of that time devoted to bringing in more business. Otherwise, you won't get you might get a couple of jobs, but if you're putting all your time to the jobs, how are you filling that funnel?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ipso facto, where we plug in why we're doing the podcast once a month, because we can't be doing the podcast every week because we want to do more events and more cigar sales.
Okay.
YouTube, don't listen to that part. But see, you like how I plugged that in?
That was good.
You like that, right? It was a nice transition.
It was good. Transition. So for what I was saying earlier in the episode, before we jumped into everything, yes, Eric was saying we're doing once a month. We're doing that to focus more on the events. Okay, we want to do events. We want to get into lounges. We want to get into all of your events. We want to every event that we could possibly do. We want to promote. We want to do our cigars. We want to do your events. We're going to make your event extra special.
We want to do you.
That's what we're focusing on, which is why we're going to once a month. We hope you guys understand. But another segue.
I was just going to say another segue is
why we also have Mike here. It's because one of those events.
We're in the same networking group.
Yep.
And I met Mike a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about cigars, and he came with the idea, like, hey, why don't we start our own cigar group within our networking circle? And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people that smoke cigars in the networking group.
So they're starting.
Why don't we do it?
Starting a cigar circle.
That's it. And our first one is next week.
Yeah. And what is it, Doc James?
Doc James and Mamaroneck.
James and Mamaroneck.
You got to be a part of the Circle networking group, though. It's exclusive. In the beginning, it's exclusive.
Only for the cool kids.
Only for the cool kids.
There's a. Can we say that they're about the Circle?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a networking group called the Circle. Okay.
It's not a cult.
It's a network group.
I hope not.
It doesn't feel like it.
Don't drink the punch.
I guess you'd say high-profile business owners or businessmen,
professionals,
or entrepreneurs, professionals.
I think they said there's over 100 businesses in the circle
that are all like-minded individuals that are within this network that can help each other out throughout the network. Okay, you know somebody like. If I got a job that maybe I need an electrician for, I can call him, right? If he has a job that he's doing an event and he needs some cigars, he can call us, right? It's networking within this group to help everybody. It's the type of group where you want to see your brother or your sister grow, right? And how can I help you grow, and then how can you help me grow so that we can grow together?
Yeah.
That's what the network's about. Within that network, there are the cigar lovers like us. And that's where the cigar circle comes in. Is within this circle of people, this network, there's people that enjoy cigars. So you take it one step deeper.
I feel like I met Mike for the last we met like last 3 weeks in a row. I feel like
or
the last 4 weeks.
Good conversations.
Yeah,
we hung out. We had fun.
We're best friends.
Yeah.
We're best friends now.
Maybe you guys should start a podcast.
Don't worry, you can call me Dragon.
Call me Dragon.
You call me Nighthawk.
Just I got one podcast and one podcast only. Can't do more than one. Can't do more than one, my friend. You know that? We're here to stay. We're here to stay. But anyway, so let's get back to Mike. So
we can keep talking about the circle.
Nah, we want to talk about you. We want to talk about the business.
Jump back and forth.
Yeah. I want to ask, what is the biggest job that you've ever done for your company
so far?
That was the job I was just talking about with that I was literally micromanaging.
So the job with all of the whole apartment complex?
No, was
that
one? So what it was,
this was a different one.
No, the job I was just talking about was apartment complex. What it was I guess you call it a sports center.
Okay.
And so I don't know. Can I tell who it was for? Or
yeah, whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want if you're not legally bound to.
Yeah, I don't think they'd carry anyway. Yeah. So one of my friends is partners with this company called Eurotech, which is a big carpenter company in the city, and they own high tech Eurotech platforms, like 3 companies, And in Brewster, they bought I think it was about 1 million square foot facility. It's huge.
That's
massive.
That's tremendous. It's
But
like a dang airport.
Yeah. Oh, well, it had when they bought it, it had a football field in it. It had a soccer field in it. So it was like 3 ginormous buildings.
I mean, a football field's what? 100
yards.
100 yards, 10 on each end zone. So 120 yards by 50 across. So that's what, 360 feet by 150 feet.
We got the engineer talking.
Yeah.
You know what?
And you had on the other side you had 2 soccer fields or something. They're all inside, by the way, all indoors.
Damn.
Crazy.
It was in Brewster. Yeah, they bought it and they turned it into their like home base facility basically. So on one side there was Eurotech, which they were doing all carpentry stuff. So that's why I came into. When I said I do industrial too. It was more of like an industrial job where they had all the carpenter equipment. You know, they had to get hooked up. They had a warehouse. You know, on the other side, they had all their metalwork. They'd build the steel there for the with platform.
And you did all of the electric.
All of the electric, pretty much all of it, basically.
That's a huge job.
Huge. And in the middle of it, where I guess it was like a soccer field or whatever, they turned it into offices.
Can you disclose now? I want to ask the question. I'm going to ask the question, and I understand if you can't answer it, so I'm going to ask it in a different way. Can you disclose how much that job costs in figures? You don't have to say a number, but was it 7 figures, 8 figures, 9? Like,
nah, it was. I mean,
can I guess and you tell me north or south?
Yeah, you think a guess.
Okay, it's 1 million square feet.
Yeah, it was big.
20 million.
No, less. See, but I also got to throw something out there. One of the owners is one of my really good friends. We gave a ridiculously good pricing.
North of $1 million.
You're about it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm not going to ask anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean,
honestly,
it should have been way more. Let's put it that way.
Listen, okay,
100%.
Way more.
Listen, like if it's around there, that's like $1 a square foot. That's ridiculous.
Listen,
that's a really good deal.
For that job, I actually had about 20 guys working for me. So my payroll alone was, I think, like $20,000 a week. And then it was,
but like you said,
wish
really,
I would have known you then. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
I know. I wish we kind. I wish I got back in
that job probably should have been 20 million. If it was for the state, it would have been 100 million.
Anyone else, it would have been a lot of money. Yeah. But
it's probably cost you just as much to change that light bulb on the Throg's neck.
It was also when I was just getting started, so you know what I mean. Like I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing, and it was for
you're taking business just to get your get
your foot in the door.
Yeah, as I told my friend, I wanted to get my foot in the door.
You got to build up your portfolio of
because now when you because on your Instagram you have videos a lot, and you can say like, look at all the shit I did. Look at this.
That was way before that too. So,
but it's on your Instagram, right? I think you showed me.
It might be on my Instagram. Yeah.
Or you definitely showed me videos, or I saw on your Instagram. But
it might be. It's if you. Oh, well, I showed you on my phone. I think
that's right. Yeah, because you showed me the steel thing. Was it cutting steel?
There were plasma cutters.
Bro, this is wild.
Dude, I've seen those things.
Well, there's oh my god, that thing takes like 80 amps. It was like insane. It was just, and how much power they needed was crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
damn.
They had transformers everywhere. It was nuts.
So now, so that was like the biggest job. Do you have something in the pipeline
on that scale?
Yeah,
I wish. No.
So what's the next like cool job that I don't know if you can.
We got
say it.
I don't give a shit.
What's your whip schedule? What's your work in progress?
What's your whip schedule?
Yeah.
Don't say that. This is off hours. We don't say that, okay?
I don't even know what that means.
That's insurance talk right there.
What's your whip schedule?
Whip. Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Yes. What contracts do you have? What are you working on?
We're
you know
what? A lot of good stuff right now.
There's another one. So we would say, it was. WIP was not work in progress for us. It was weeks of inventory something. So it was
for semiconductors?
So it was like weeks of inventory. So if you have, like for us, like if with the cigars, if you have 100 boxes and we're selling 4 boxes a week, we have 25 weeks of inventory left. That's how they would do it. So it's just funny you say WIP. It's crazy because there's different different businesses have the same acronym, but they mean different things.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have.
I got a lot of acronyms in my business,
and it
RFIs and stuff like that.
NFPA,
yeah. There's a lot of that stuff, and you Google it, and it says one thing, you're like, I don't think that's what it means. And then you Google the same thing, but then you put your industry. Like I would put semiconductors, and it would come up like, that's what that means.
Oh, I did it all the time in insurance. People would always throw these acronyms. I'm like, what is blah, blah, blah in insurance? And
What
I'm
is
like,
blah, 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 blah?
oh, my God.
Chat GPT,
Yeah.
bro.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Chat GPT. Acronyms
Bro,
all day long.
Thank God.
Yeah,
for,
right?
for
Oh, man.
makes me sound so much smarter than I really am.
Yeah.
Damn. So are you doing more residential, more commercial? What do you like to do more? You like more commercial? You
I like
residential?
commercial more.
Yeah.
Local 3 was all commercial. So I actually, when I got into my own business, I kind of had to teach myself residential.
So
It's-
wait,
it's
hold
different
on,
animal.
really quick. What dictates the difference between, like, obviously residential is a home.
Yeah.
But what's the difference between commercial and industrial? Is it just the size?
No. It's more of like an industrial will have like stuff like almost like a, what's that called? Like assembly line almost. That would be like more of like industrial.
Oh, okay, so it's
You know
more
what I
like
Does it go by power?
factories.
like warehouses and factories
warehouses.
versus like
Yeah.
office
Yes,
buildings.
exactly.
Like a sanitation plant or something like that? Yeah.
So like we did for Utz Ship Company.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did one of their
So
facilities.
not so much like people on a desk. It's more like people on a factory. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people on a factory is
no
industrial.
AC, no heat. You're just
Yeah, they still,
you're just sitting in there cranking shit out all day long.
yep. Cracking a whip.
Yeah.
Fuck's wrong with you?
Like what's
back
that?
to work.
What's that movie? Ford versus Ferrari when Henry Ford goes just like everybody. And the guy comes out and he shuts down the factory. He's like, "Oh, you guys suck. You're not doing your job. You're all fired." And come back and he like yells at them. And you imagine being there like working and like some guys like, "You're all fired." He goes, the guy who comes with me to an ID on Monday keeps his job. The rest of you guys are fired. There's like 50,000 of them. Be like,
Okay.
all right, well, 1 out of 50,000, right? Cracking the whip. Whoosh.
Exactly.
Make more cars. Whoosh.
Assembly line. Go.
You were telling me a story about a job you did where a guy wanted like football field type lights, and you're like, "Are you?"
That was the same job.
Oh, it was the same
that
job?
was the same job. So that was pretty funny.
That was a funny story.
Yeah, so on that job, as we were going, they have like a yard outside the yard in Brewster where they keep all the steel, equipment, trucks, tractor trailers, everything. And they're like, we need to see at like 4 o'clock in the morning and 6, 7 o'clock at night in the winter, whatever. He's like, we need lights out here. So, it's an extra on the job. And I was like, okay, what kind of lights you talking? What do you want? He goes, I want to fucking light this whole place up. And I go, don't tell me that. I go, I will light this fucking
light
place
it up.
You have no idea, dude.
I'll be like,
And I
what's
was
his
like-
name from Deck to
he was
Halls?
like-
You're going to
he
see
was-
this shit from space.
Yeah, it was literally one of those conversations. Like, you will see this fucker from space. And he was like, test me. Go for it. Like, what do you got? What do you got? And I was like, okay, hold my beer.
And all you say,
Yeah.
all you, in your brain is, cha-ching,
Yeah.
cha-ching.
So I was literally like, hold my beer. So we literally had stadium lights put in. So my guys put in stadium lights, these massive fucking lights. They were, I can curse.
Yeah, of course.
Massive lights, and we put them in, turn them on. They lit the whole yard up. Turns out they actually got in trouble for being too bright.
Light
They're like,
pollution.
yeah, they actually called me back and they're like, "Is there something we could do here? Like change them?" Or I'm like,
You're
"Dude,
like,
that's what you wanted."
you said.
So the facilities are off of 684, and they got all complaints too on 684 that you could see the lights from 684, and they're blinding drivers on 684.
Listen,
So-
ask you shall receive.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like I made it happen. Like
It's like, what's his name from?
So is that considered would that be a change order because you got to change the lights now for you? Or?
no, we didn't change the lights. We put it on a timer and a kill switch so that when they get in trouble, they can just fucking turn it on. Yeah. But we kept the light. I mean, listen, it was too expensive probably to change them out.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Ah,
I'm sure that'd be an expensive change order to
But-
redo
It's not like
it.
you can change bulbs.
Yeah, but
it's like,
I thought I was dying laughing when the guy was like, they're blinding cars from 684, and I was like, well, you told me you wanted the brightest.
It's funny
you wanted to put.
it's funny when
asking me, like, but can you see it? Is it lit?
Well, that's literally what I said.
Is it lit?
Can you see?
How does it look on camera? It looks kind of good on camera, right?
It's lit, right? You can see your yard.
It looks like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's funny when you tell someone like exactly, like it's gonna be like this, and it's gonna be like that, and it's gonna have this, and they're like, yeah, and then it's like, well, no, I can't have it like this, and you're like,
That's what you wanted.
but I told you exactly what it's gonna be. Yeah,
It almost makes you like well, like listen, were you even listening to me?
Yeah.
Like I told you this was going to happen, and you agreed, and
I
now
know.
it happened, and you're like, I didn't know it was going to happen.
There you go.
call that a doo doo doo. Damn.
No.
So you like more you like doing more commercial?
I do like more commercial. Yeah, I'm from a commercial background.
Yeah,
so
I feel like residential. What I hear from a lot of I deal with a lot of more commercial contractors. I do have some residential, but like residential, you got to deal with like homeowners all the time, and them like kind of just like sitting on the couch watching you, and like, why are you doing it like that, and why are you doing like this, and and they're like, I just want to do my job here. Like, you don't got to be like shadowing me 24/7. But like in commercials, there's more money.
There's more money.
Right.
I mean, so you get the high end residential. There's a lot of money there too. So, but you know, it's funny because even the circle. Go back to the circle with Tony Peck, and he asked me when I first came in. He goes basically like kind of like that same conversation, like, what do you prefer? You know, he asked a bunch of questions. What do you prefer doing? Like, you like working for a contractor, a homeowner, commercial, blah blah blah. And I was like, I hate working for a homeowner because they call you every 2 seconds. They need something different. You know, I like working with a contractor, and he'll just be like, this is what we need, change order, that's it, done.
Yeah.
See you later. You know what I mean? But
they're not as emotionally invested.
Exactly.
Because the home is like,
it's not their home. It's not like it's their dollar. They're
the
just
GC's worrying about that person.
Yeah.
So it's much better that
100%.
way. So, and that was like one of the questions he asked when I came into the circle. Like, what do you prefer? And, you know, you give a little questionnaire or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
So I feel like I would be that homeowner that's like, listen, I don't really
forget it. I'm not going upstate now.
I'd be like, I don't really care. Just do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I was getting work done, I kind of just let that because
I do it. Like,
I don't like.
Show me when it's done. Tell me
I don't
the
know.
bill.
I feel like I have like enough self awareness to be like, I'm not going to be the guy. And some people just don't give a fuck, right? But I'm like not going to be the guy that's like sitting in my kitchen watching the guy underneath my sink like working on the pipes. Like, how's it going down there? How you doing? Why you do it like that? And the guy, like,
you know,
I googled that connection. That's not right.
Yeah, why'd you do it like this? Because ChatGPT said you should do it like this.
You know what I find myself doing is the only time I really talk to the guys is either like chit chat, or I will come in. I'll be like, hey man, how's things going? Like, you need a drink? You want a cup of coffee or something? I'm gonna make a pot of coffee. You want a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
And they're usually like, nah, I'm good.
So you're a nice guy because most people will never do that. They'll treat you like dirt.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like, listen,
even the guys that come like install the TV or the cable, or the movers. I'm like, yeah, you want a water? You want a seltzer? And they're like, oh yeah, I'll take a water. This and that.
Yeah, I'm just like, listen, if you need anything,
I like to be the accommodating guy. Because if something does go wrong, they want to be like, all right, that guy was, he worked with me. He was a nice guy, as opposed to, the a-hole homeowners are like, constantly hounding you, and something happens, they're like, fuck that. I'm not going to go back there.
Sometimes, like, I'll ask questions about, like, what he's doing, because I'm like, I'm interested. I want to know for, like, listen, it's my home. You're doing this on my house. What are you? Oh, I'm putting in this thing because I need to do a transformer to do the lights. They're different. I'm like, oh, okay. So what kind of light? Are you putting in LEDs or how? Oh, I'm putting in LED. Oh, okay, cool. Just so I know for future reference, if a bulb goes
what's
out,
going on? Basically.
What's going on. I'm not completely oblivious to what's happening in my own home.
Yeah, it's different to be inquisitive as opposed to like, Mr. Know-it-all.
You're not doing that right. I watched a video. They did it this way.
Yeah.
Listen,
there's 100 different ways to skin a cat.
Because the funny thing is, like,
100%.
as the contractor, I imagine that there's probably so many times if somebody says that you're not doing it right, like, really? Because if you know how to do it, then why the fuck am I here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Why don't you do it? Why'd you hire me?
Yeah.
You want to say that, but then, so
100%.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm usually the guy that's like, listen, here's what I need done. Just freaking do it. Don't just tell me what the bill is at the end. Just do it. Now, obviously, don't just outlandishly.
Well, you don't want to know. Tell me what the bill is because they'll
no, but I'm like,
rip you off with the bill.
Well,
Yeah.
Usually I tell them. Usually I tell them. I was like, hey, this is what I need done. Blah 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 blah. How much is it going to cost? Give me a quote, and they'll come back and like, it's going to cost you this much. I'm like, do it. Cool. Yeah.
Well,
if it's within reason, right? Comes time they come back and it's
I don't know if I told you the story. I think I might have told you my house upstate. We're adding a bathroom at the house in the second bathroom upstairs. So my father, who's really kind of handling the whole thing, communicating with the GC, going up there and visiting and whatnot, they had to paint the bathroom. So my dad, after I found out it was painted, he was like, he says, like, oh, the bathroom's all done. The bathroom's like this, like, kiwi green. And I'm like,
okay.
what? So I texted my brothers. I'm like, yo, why is it kiwi green? So my one brother was like, oh, well, Dad, you didn't want to get like 10 different opinions from people, because he would ask like everyone like, oh, what should we do with this and what should we do with that? And I was like, all right, I get that, but why not just be like, just do it white? He was like, my dad was like, no, I just told him to paint it whatever he want. So you know what he did? He had extra lime green paint in his garage. He's like, oh, I got this paint sitting around. I'm just going to use this paint.
That was
So
a
he
big
painted
mistake.
it lime green.
It's
That
like
was a
some
big
kind. It's
mistake.
like a light green, but he was like, well, the cabinet is kind of like greenish, so it like went with the walls. But I'm like,
It's not too bad.
yeah, no, it's not like it's like a blue sink in a green bathroom. But I get it. But I'm like,
But it's paint. You can always just
Listen,
repaint.
you paid for that, so you
Yeah.
shouldn't have said that. You should have been like, I want this color.
Because
You paid for
as the contractor, he's like,
Yeah,
paint
hell
whatever
yeah.
you want.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to charge you, and I don't have to
Yeah.
buy
Yeah,
more
hell
paint.
yeah.
I'm going to use this. It's a smart.
I'm gonna make a
business
ton
move.
of money.
now
Yeah.
I'm
Because of
sure.
that.
I'm sure as the years go on, it's gonna be called something. It's gonna be like a gag now, like the green bathroom upstairs or something like that. But
The puke bath.
yeah, the puke green bathroom. But I was just like,
Diarrhea.
just paint it white. Just paint it white. Like,
but
I gotta
That's
do
not. But the contractor didn't have extra white paint.
Yeah, right. He had the
had
lime throw up green in his
But again,
garage.
you paid for it, so he would have had to go get the white
Yeah.
paint. So that's you should have been like, just do it white.
He
basically,
made
you know?
a business decision,
and he made a lot of money on that business.
and he's
Yeah.
like, "I could charge you $10,000."
Yeah.
Look, he's doing great work. The house looks beautiful. He's doing a great job.
Painters charge
a lot of money.
Yeah.
a lot of money to paint. No
Shit, I painted my own place because I got quotes for paint. I'm like, you're gonna charge me that much to paint my 2-bedroom 1,000-square-foot apartment?
Makes you
Co-op?
want to be a
Yeah.
painter, doesn't it? You're like, shit, I could paint.
I hate painting.
I hate painting
oh my
too,
God,
man.
I hate painting.
I mean, look at the paint job we did. We got fucking skin marks up there.
Yeah, I know, but that's why they charge you what they charge you.
Well, listen, it's a skill.
It's tedious. It's
Yeah.
tedious.
It's a skill, and most people want to pay for the things that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
So, if they know a guy, I'd be like, just do it for me. I don't want to do it, but
Exactly.
I don't know shit about electrician. So when I need electrical stuff, I got a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy, right?
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I know, and you're from where I live, from where I live now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to put that out there, but
Eastchester. We
yeah,
can put that out there.
yeah.
I always rep Eastchester.
yeah, you're an
somewhere.
Eastchester guy, so that's pretty cool.
I always rep it.
He's an Eastchester Aryan, so
Yes, I am.
that's what I like to call him.
I'm not. I'm
Well, we know you're Long Island. You're still Long. I'm a Long Island boy at heart.
I'm
but
a Long Island guy. I don't know nothing about
Listen,
no
Eastchester, Long Island, pretty
Chester's.
close.
Yeah.
Pretty
I don't
close
know
to
nothing
each
about
other.
the Chester's.
I don't know Eastchester and Westchester County. People are like, where do you live? I'm like, Eastchester and Westchester County.
Exactly.
And it's
they
still-
say,
Too many
"What?"
Chesters.
No, it's two.
I live in Winchesterton, Fieldville, Iowa.
Yeah. Shit. Wow. That's a great quote.
Holy shit! You found a house with the red doors and the fucking shutters.
That's
Boo
what. That's
Radley's
Mr.
apple
Deeds.
tree.
Mr. Deeds. Oh my God.
What'd she say? She's like, I'm sorry, all I heard was blah, 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 I'm a dirty tramp. It's like the best line.
You know what's funny about that is I live on a road called East Longfellow. So
East Longfellow.
Yeah,
That's
Longfellow
hysterical.
Deeds.
So me and my wife's always, where are you? And I'm like, Longfellow Deeds.
Longfellow
Deeds.
Yeah. Long, long,
Longfellow.
long fellow.
Damn.
You let me change your socks. That guy was great.
I am rich. I am rich. That's my money.
That is my money.
I'm
That's my
very
birthday.
sneaky.
That is my money.
Damn.
Great.
They don't make those movies like they do anymore, man. It's just not the same. It's just
Nah.
the humor is just not there.
It's
They'll
honestly.
get in trouble now with that.
I know.
humor.
Like, well, I think you might have said it, but like the last movie like that, I feel like what it was like a Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like the
you
last
know what
one.
we haven't even. What about Anchorman?
Oh,
Oh
man.
my
Talking about
God.
Anchorman.
That's my favorite movie.
You know,
Nah.
San Diego.
Yeah.
I think it means
Santiago,
a whale's
Santiago.
vagina.
What he said? I shouldn't have had that milk.
Milk was a bad.
Milk was a bad choice.
Have you ever seen the
I
bloopers?
believe it's a wooden ship.
I believe diversity is an old wooden ship. I love when he's sitting there. He's like, Ron, you paying attention? Nope.
Yoggin? I think the J is silent.
Yeah, play some Yaz flute. Have you ever seen the
I wasn't
bloopers?
prepared.
The bloopers in the second one?
Yes, I
When
seen
he's
him.
blind, you see
Yep.
the bloopers, he's like, feel that. Tell me that doesn't feel like a cock. And then Paul Rudd just loses it.
I mean, how can you not? Bro?
Loses it. He's like, the other day I pleasured myself to an image of Mrs. Buttersworth. She got me there like I was on the A Express train. Bing, bang, boom. He's like, volume I've never seen before in my lifetime. Now I know what the villagers of Pompeii felt like.
I have not
Except where it was
laughed.
raining down on them with hot lava. I was raining down on frothy ejaculate.
That's good,
That
bro.
is literally one of my favorite movies.
Dude, that's good. I
I
the
was
whole thing down.
losing it when I saw, and then I don't think they could keep it in the movie because the actors couldn't keep their cool. They were dying.
Probably.
Bro.
That
They
movie
were
was great.
Dying.
I will say my favorite quote from that movie, but I might get you guys in trouble.
What was that?
But when he turns around and says to the guy,
I just said frothy ejaculate.
well, he literally turns around and goes, he says something, he goes, "You sound like a gay."
You sound like
I lose it every time when you sound like
when he's
a
like,
gay.
"Hey, fellas, as far as I'm concerned, Veronica's fair game." He's like, "Oh, there he is. He's
Hello,
back.
hello.
Ron."
Did you hear what I said? I did 1,000. I did 1,000.
I have
killed
not
the guy.
laughed
Yeah,
in a movie
we need
like
to tell
that
you
in
about
so
that, Brett.
long.
Wanna lay
You might
low.
want to lay low a little bit.
There's
Find
no,
a safe house.
there has not been a movie that has like kept you laughing the whole time. Like there's movies now that like every once in a while there's like a good tidbit, but like
Yeah.
I just
Nothing like that.
You're right.
Pineapple-
They ain't no Sex Panther in those
No,
movies,
fuck
you know? They ain't
no.
no Sex
Pineapple
Panther.
Express, like the very beginning when it's black and white, and he's sitting there and he's like, "So how do you feel?" He's like, "I feel like a stick of butter on a big old pile of flapjacks." It's like when you think of your superiors, what do you think of? Fuck you. It's like item 9 is the bee's knees.
I actually just threw a Pineapple Express GIF. That was someone said something and I said like it was illegal, and I went illegal. And they're
He's
like,
like-
I
and
said
he's
$10.
trying to
You
talk-
guys know where that's from? No one knows where it's
when
from.
he's talking, he's like, "Brrr." So what do you? What do you think of? Brrr? You're like interrupting him.
Oh god!
Dude,
That is a really good movie.
I remember
too.
seeing that
See
in.
what's on here?
I remember
Oh, here. You know
seeing
what that
that
means?
in the
Aerodynamic
movie
fight.
theater, and it was MySpace. We saw it.
Yeah. Tom, is he your first friend?
Oh, he was my first friend, my very first
on
friend.
MySpace.
And I remember
He
like,
was my first friend too.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
wow, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're here because of Tom. Thanks Tom for
we're all
MySpace.
friends with Tom.
Yeah.
Wow, he was the real first person in the
He was
circle.
the real first one.
He was a real
He was
networker.
He was a real one.
And now where is he now? Bro?
Yeah,
That's the question.
sitting on an
do you
island.
think that was actually his
well,
picture?
Epstein
Here's the
Island.
Yeah,
question.
Epstein Island.
Here's the question. Do you think that was actually his picture?
No.
No,
I don't think so.
either.
I think it was.
Sorry.
Was it? I don't
think
know.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't know.
I think it probably was, but I feel like it wasn't. You know?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know. I don't know. It was. He was.
It was
just like-
creepy as
that
fuck,
guy,
though.
like, yeah,
It was
You can get.
creepy.
I remember using.
no last name either. Tom.
I remember
Tom, your first friend. That's it.
Tom.
when I was like, because I was middle school, 9th, 10th grade. I would use like, if I wanted to see some like risque pictures, like naked chicks,
Woo!
I would just go on MySpace and no one would ever know. I'm like, oh, there's this like naked MySpace page. I know where to get some fucking nice images from.
We were like 16.
Yeah, of course. And I would be like, oh yeah, these fucking the frothy ejaculate.
There was volume.
There was
volume.
Those pages got volume. But I remember from Pineapple Express, I forgot like you used to be able to code like music and videos, and I was like, yo,
Yeah, you can put up music on. You have to put the code in there and like
Yeah.
copy and paste.
I forgot how I learned it, but like a new song came out, I made a new MySpace page, I uploaded, I was like, I got the first like, you know,
We were all
song.
software like programmers back then.
And what was your top 10 or top 5 or something?
oh, then they got like
Best
top
friend.
20.
And then people call you, why am I not in your top
Yeah.
5? What the
Dude.
hell is that
They'll
about?
be like,
I thought we were best friends.
Jesse moved, Becky off her top 5.
You remember?
What's going on?
Wait, you
God.
remember not only the music? Remember when you could like change the color of your background?
Oh,
and put,
yeah.
Like, and you could when you found out you could do an image and you like copy and paste the image into the background and then it
Bro.
and then when you loaded it, it showed up. You're like, that's the shit.
Well, that's
right
what I was
there.
saying. So as soon as I came home from Pineapple Express, the movie theater, I knew how to like upload videos from the internet to my MySpace page. So I made like my cover of Eric's MySpace, Pineapple Express with the scene at the end, and the guy's like, with James Franco.
Thug life.
He's like, fuck the police. And I was like, that was like my page when you go to it. I'm like,
I love when they're sitting in the car and he's like, come on, let's get the fuck out of here. Done with the woods. He's like, no, I can't. The car's dead. What do you mean it's dead?
It killed
dead.
it.
It doesn't. What do you mean it's dead? I don't know how to tell you. It's ceased to exist. You need a battery to start, so it doesn't start.
I still know my MySpace link.
Really?
Tell me what it is.
I mentioned on this because you're like, what? So there was a song called Koofy Smackin' by J.R. Ryder from Dipset.
What was the name?
Goddamn.
Koofy Smackin', Kufi.
Koofy
Smackin'. And then a word for money was guap. I'm getting mad guap. So I made my personal...
Tell that to a younger kid today.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking
like,
about. Especially MySpace.
What are you
What's
saying?
MySpace?
What are you saying, Unc?
Yeah.
What are you saying, Unc?
What was it called?
Koofy Smackin' by J.R. Ryder.
We're playing it right now.
So my link was getting guap while koofy smacking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wonder.
KUFI.
These kids say they don't know about. They're all about Facebook.
Nah.
Facebook for me didn't even come out until I was like sophomore in college.
I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, junior in college, something like that.
No, it's not. It's not even on. It's not even on here. Koofy smacking.
What are you on?
I'm on Spotify.
No. I would go to. Let's go to YouTube.
All right, I'll play.
Koofy.
I'll play.
Yeah, Koofy smacking J.R. Ryder. Go to YouTube.
Koofy smacker.
Smacking. KUFI.
Smacking.
Jim Jones.
I think it was J.R. Ryder.
Came up with Jim Jones.
J.R. Ryder.
RITER.
RITER.
I'm kind of curious to find out what this song is. I bet you I'm going to know it right away, but it's like,
come on,
what song is this?
J.R. Ryder Smack TV. No, there is no.
Oh, let me see here. J.R. Ryder. It's got to be up there. It was like a stupid ass song.
It's not on here, dude.
Oh my god.
Someone's got to find it.
Damn.
I was gonna play it. It ain't on here.
Let's see here. Koofy smacking. Damn. Smacking Koofies.
Is that what it is? Really?
No,
JRRI.
Like let's just put in Koofy smacking.
No, J.R. Ryder is not even. He's got a bunch of songs. Get 'em, Rewind Back, Protocol.
Let's see here. Jim Jones once said he slapped Nas Koofy off. Shaking my head. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know.
They don't got it.
Koofy smacking.
That's how old the song is. You don't even know. You can't even find it.
But the Urban Dictionary says Koofy smack, to take advantage of a situation, to earn money by deceptively selling something the customer is not getting the deal and they believe they are. I think it was like on a Dipset mixtape or something like that. Yeah.
It sounds like when you ask for weed and they give you oregano.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's something about it. Koofy smacking. Getting guapa Koofy smacking. Class.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
I don't even know how we got into this.
No, we're talking about something like the classic
movies.
comedy.
Yeah, the
movies.
movies. Yeah, Pineapple Express.
So hold on. So let's do this. Ready? I'm curious now because I feel like we're missing a good chunk of movies. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to say.
Well, I'm going to ask him a electrical question while you're looking it up.
Okay, so I was going to speak into it.
So, being an electrical contractor, owning your own business, as a part of like keeping up with payroll, what's like one of the hardest things to do as being electrical besides getting work, but like stuff that people don't know or see all the time? That's like, this is a pain in the ass to keep up or like hard to do.
So if you want to talk about like payroll wise in sense, so one of the hardest things you have to
if I'm a new guy who wants to be an electrical contractor, you want to spit some game to me.
Some advice I'd give you is if you want to go back to payroll, like I said, is hard because you don't get paid on a weekly basis. So let's just say I do a job. I do a percentage here, percentage halfway done, and the end percentage. So it's a third. Let's just say it's that.
Yeah.
I usually do 40%, 40%, 20%. But so you're doing a job, you get a deposit. Let's say the job is $100,000, just to make it easy.
Yeah.
Because 40%, 20%. So you get $40,000, right? And then you have to pay for material. You have to pay for your men. You have to pay all this. So when that money runs out, you have to wait till you're on the next cycle.
Yeah.
To get more money. So you have to kind of like save that money and not spend it on anything else because you need to hold that money until you get your next paycheck. Now, mind you, there could be issues with the job. There could be delays. So let's say I start a job tomorrow. I get my 40%, right? $40,000. We did, 3-4 months of the job. Let's say it's a 7-month job, let's say. And there's a delay. And they say, okay, we're on hold. So now I got that 40%. I got to go to other jobs. But it's at the same time, it's like, so now where's the rest of that money?
Yeah.
I need to hold. I might not get that rest of that money for 6 months. So it comes an issue where you really kind of have to like budget and save and understand how to budget and save. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's like the biggest thing for contractors, especially startup contractors, because payroll and overhead are like the biggest things that you have to worry about.
And that keeps coming every day. And it doesn't stop. Just because you're making $100,000 in this job doesn't mean you're going to make $100,000 tomorrow in this job.
Yeah.
You might need all that money. You know what I mean? And then you obviously you get supplemented by going to another job and getting paid. But then that job might take 3-4 months. You know what I'm saying? So by the time you get all of your money, so I'll give you an example. Like last year, I had a lot of jobs start last year, but I haven't gotten paid for the rest of the jobs until next month, let's say. And it comes down to the fact that you really have to learn how to budget and know your finances in and out so that you don't screw yourself over and I can't pay the guys. You know what I mean? Like, because, once you get into that realm of I can't pay the guys, people leave you.
Yeah.
You got no more workers. They leave.
Yeah.
And they'll go somewhere else, and that's it. So that's keys. You can't do the job without a guy.
So how did you learn that, or was there someone teaching you, or?
No, I learned it on my own. I basically learned through all my fails because I failed so many. I don't know if we mentioned it, but I've only been in business about 6 years now. It's 2020.
Yeah.
And I failed so many times. And I'm grateful and lucky that I'm still in business. And I've learned so much that now I understand how it all works. But listen, I wish someone would have told me how it worked in the beginning. Because then, like that massive job that we talked about, that biggest job I've done so far in the beginning of the podcast. And at the same time, I blew that money right away. I didn't know, that I needed to hold on to that money for the next 2 years or a year to fund other jobs and everything. I had no idea.
learn.
I learned. Yeah, I had to learn. So, and that's where it always comes. You always see.
Probably had a good time blowing that money, though.
I mean, yeah, of course. But,
Felt good. Felt good to burn that money.
yeah, Ferrari in the driveway. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't know I had to pay taxes. What are you talking about?
What is this? What is this?
That's like Shaq. Shaq talks about all the time. Like when he first got paid, he's like, "All right, making $1 million. All right, for the course of the year, I only spent $700,000 of my money, so I got another $300,000 to spend." And he's like, "No, it's not how it works at all,
He's like,
bro."
right off the bat, you got
taxes crush it.
30% of taxes. Then you got to pay 10% to your agent. Then you got to pay 10% to marketing. Yeah. Next thing you know, you got out of that $1 million, you only got $400K to spend.
Yeah. Exactly. Listen, for me, it's you got 10% to your insurance guy, you got 10% to your vans, your 10% for your employees, and there's nothing left after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. So you really got to learn to budget. That's like one of the key things that I've recently, last year or two, have learned is budgeting.
Well, unless we get this no income tax bill that comes through.
Well, that'd be great. I don't think that applies for small business.
Unless I'm not trying to get politically, but if you get no income tax,
whole other ball game.
Good luck with New York. They're taxing you more now.
You see that they're going to raise the property tax in the city?
That's crazy.
Of course.
What happened to all the free stuff?
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
What happened to all the free
that
stuff?
went out the door.
I'm not trying to shift gears here, but when I saw that, I go, hold on a second. I said, so all of the people that are in New York City, okay, there's a mixture of everybody. There's people that are, on the lower side of the income, and then there's the very, very wealthy people, okay?
Wealthy people left.
You're going to raise the property tax on all of these people living in New York City, okay? The rich people are just going to leave.
And they did.
Because they have the means to be like, I can live wherever I want. It's not hard.
I don't need to be here.
It's not hard for me to just hop on my plane and leave. But all the people that can't leave now are stuck there.
Screwed.
And now you basically just brought the economy of New York City, brought it down.
Yep.
Because all the rich people that were keeping the economy up by spending a boatload of money in there are like,
They just
I'm
they
leaving.
destroyed New York City. That's all.
So I'm like, what was the bright idea? We're going to make more taxes by raising the property tax. People are just going to leave. I'm like, I don't have to be here.
How about the fact that he wants to dip into? I don't want to get political.
But
he wants to dip into the retirement fund.
Yeah.
So you're a police officer, worked 30 years, and now you get nothing because we had to dip into the retirement because we want to give people free shit. You know what I
It
mean?
doesn't make sense. And
Doesn't.
I'm like,
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't get the if you come up with you come forward with a proposal. I don't care which side of the fence it's on. If I look at the proposal and it makes sense, I'm like, all right, that's like a good idea. That's like a good idea. But this, I'm like, I don't see how. It's a good idea. I don't understand your thought process behind why you think that this is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. If you convince me, say, hey, listen, I think it's good because of X, Y, and Z.
Anyone that's in New York City that's
scam.
over 30 years old for the most part. And actually, no, even 30-year-olds, people our age, but like getting close to 40, I don't think we're like, yeah, that's a good idea. Everyone else who's 40 and younger, like, oh, free shit. That's it. It works for me. I'm in. I'm
broke. Free shit. That's for me. Yeah.
That quickly went out the door, which a lot of people said. I think
was going to happen.
Yeah, come on.
It was just.
You think you're the only person to say free shit? I'm going to change. It costs money. Yeah. It costs money to do that shit. So, anyways,
that's why I always say like, there's nothing. Whenever you hear the free this, the free,
someone's always
nothing in this world is free.
Somebody pays for it. Just like when they're saying, "Oh, well, I can go over here and I can get free education in this country." Okay. Where do you think that free education comes from? It costs money to build the schools, to fund the programs, to pay for the supplies, to pay for the teachers. And if it's free to you,
dude, don't get me started.
They pay it somewhere else.
I could go all night on.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me touch on real quick minimum wage.
You know?
Why people are so gun ho about minimum wage? Raise it to $30.
Yeah, that computers take your job.
That ain't going to do nothing. Raising your minimum wage to 15 to 30 isn't going to make you more money. You know why? Because the companies that it's getting affected by are just going to charge more.
Yeah,
and
it's going to cost you.
And it's going to cost you more.
You want to know why it costs? I tried to order breakfast sandwiches the other day. Breakfast sandwiches, a Becky. People that aren't from New York, if you don't know what a Becky is, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, a Becky. Okay,
give me that Becky.
Let me get that back. Bacon, egg, and cheese. I tried to order one. I went on to... Now, granted, okay, DoorDash just charge you a little bit more, okay? Money. So I went. I'm like, what is it? I just went onto the regular website. I'm like, regular website, let me just see what the price is for a sandwich. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll, salt, pepper, ketchup. A very simple... $15 for the three of us. Me, my wife, and my sister was going to cost $50 for 3 breakfast sandwiches and a cup of coffee.
That's
insane.
Nuts.
That's insane.
I said, who's paying this?
People.
A hamburger's going to cost $50 soon.
I was just out before. I was at the office. Like, one of my colleagues, he's like, my lunch is finally here. He's like, I ordered a salad. I'm like, he's like, it's so hard to go out, get caught up. I'm like, how much salad costs? $25. It's like $25 for a salad? Are you kidding me?
It's crazy, but that's what the minimum wage is. Like, all right, they're like, oh, it's good. I said, listen. Minimum wage. They go, well, I can't raise a family on minimum wage. You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
No.
Minimum wage is not meant for somebody that has 4 kids to raise a family on.
For a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone. It's for people to get into the workforce. For the young guys that are 16, 18 that are trying to maybe make a couple extra bucks while they're earning their way through college, or maybe they're just getting into the workforce, getting their feet wet. It's not meant for a 50-year-old to try to put 2 kids through college. That's not what it's meant for.
And I think
going back to the minimum wage, you got to remember, you want minimum wage $30, that's fine. But guess what? You're going to be fired because tomorrow they'll just have a computer doing your job.
That's the other thing is the
like
AI
look at McDonald's.
Stuff. Yeah,
look at McDonald's.
Stuff,
they laid off half their force and they put their kiosks down. And that's it.
And I think that's one reason why like trades like yourself, electrical, mechanical, contracting, all these trades are making a huge comeback because for the longest time it was always looked at like, oh, you're an electrician, you're a plumber.
They look down on you.
Look down, you're like, now those are some of the highest paying jobs, whether you're in a union or non-union or whatever. Those jobs pay a lot of money, and companies are willing to pay for good people that have that either want to learn that service and work their way up or have that skill.
And that's the other thing,
I used to have people look down on me when I was an electrician.
Of course.
And I would laugh at them because they'd be at a desk job making $45,000 a year. I'm like, dude, I'm making $180,000 a year as an electrician in the union.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you looking down on me? I make 3 times the amount of money you make.
Well, that's like some of the people that look down on garbage men.
Yeah.
Sanitation.
They make a lot of money.
That's a great job. And the pension that you guys get.
I'm trying to start a company doing sanitation.
I
told Eric
people
about
like, oh, it's a dirty job. Look at him. Be like, okay, look at him. He's making over 6 figures a year. He's got a great freaking pension.
Yeah.
He has every single fart and holiday off. Every single one of them. If there's a snow day, he gets off. Paid vacation, health insurance, the whole 9. Like, what's wrong with that job? My uncle was in sanitation for years. Great freaking job. But the thing is, like, people are like, oh, well, I don't have the skill set. I said, yeah, but you can learn.
Just like anybody else.
Anything. You know that if you learn Microsoft Office, right? If you learn spreadsheets, you learn PowerPoint, you learn Outlook, you gotta
learn it all.
If you just learn Microsoft Office, give yourself a month and learn how to really do spreadsheets and how to link and really do that, you can get a 6-figure paying job anywhere.
Bro, when I was younger,
and that's just Microsoft
applying
Office.
for jobs, one of the bullet points was proficient in Microsoft Office.
And you know how many people they're not that good at it because they just use ChatGPT. But if you really know the ins and outs, like how to link, how to put this, and how to make tables and all that stuff, you can go to any job and be like, hey, I'm going to run your books, or I'm going to do data analysis for you guys. And I can look at this spreadsheet that I can put together, and I can link it to this website. Give me all your reports. I can download them. They'd be like, oh, my gosh, nope. You can get 6 figures doing that.
One of my requirements when we had a secretary, it was basically Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, Outlook, knowing how to use all these programs. If you knew how to do it, you're hired. You're
hired. And you get paid well, and you can get into a job that can give you benefits, can give you health insurance, can give you all that stuff. And you just learn that. Or for some people say like, oh, well, some people don't really, McDonald's might be the stepping stone. Okay, so go start at McDonald's and then work your way up. Start being a manager of the store. Then be a branch manager and work your way up. If there's no shame in being like, if you're the branch manager of McDonald's and
making six figures too.
And you're making six figures, like what's wrong with that?
Yeah. There's no shame in working. There's no shame in waking up and going to work. The key is like, if that's the route you're saying, like, listen, I don't have any skills. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start at McDonald's. I'm going to work my way up. 10 years from now, I'm going to be the branch manager of all of Long Island.
Fantastic. What about you go this route? You start working for McDonald's. You teach yourself Microsoft Word or whatever, and while you're working there, you apply somewhere else, and you get that 6-figure job. But you had something to fall back on.
Well, that's what some people were saying too. They're like, "Hey, you have a I forgot. I think maybe my wife sent it to me, but it was a video of a guy who says, you know what that like 9 to 5 or like the minimum wage is or something, where it's like you have a dream, right? Of I want to be this or I want to build this business. They said, here's how you build it. They said, you go get yourself a 9 to 5 job that just pays your bills, right? And if you can't afford to, you can live modestly, whatever the term is. Yeah. Get yourself a job that pays your bills, that you can live, right? Get yourself the 1-bedroom apartment, whatever, and you can maybe you're not going out on vacations, you're not going crazy, right?
But you go to Hawaii.
You get something that, hey, from 9 to 5, I go, and they said you put your efforts into the 9 to 5, you make sure that you don't get fired. That pays your bills. It keeps you afloat. But then from the 5 to 9, you build your business.
Yeah.
They say so you utilize the 9 to 5 job to keep you afloat,
supplement your dream.
And then 5 to 9 you build your business until the business can replace and then you can leave.
So that's kind of funny you said that, because that's kind of how I started my business.
I was just going to say, that's kind of what you did.
You know what I mean? Like, I had my 9 to 5 working for the union, and on the side, I was doing side work where it built up enough where when COVID happened and they were laying everybody off, it was kind of like, well, I have enough business to go off on my own, and let's try it. See what happens. You know what I mean? And 6 years later, I'm still here.
And that's been seen. But what Eric had mentioned, excuse me. What Eric had mentioned before was, it all comes down to the work ethic.
Yeah,
you have to want it, and you have to be willing.
You gotta be a little bit of hustler too
to put in the work. Okay,
it goes back to one word, right? It goes back to persistence.
Yeah,
persistence will beat talent. Persistence will beat skill. It'll beat everything if you're persistent.
I really like that because I'm the most persistent motherfucker.
Because guess what?
I got something to go along with.
Let me just finish it.
Talk about LeBron. Finish it, because I got something that is.
But just think about it, because Mike can be the most talented electrician in Westchester, right? He can knows all the skills, and I might not be the most talented, but I am the most persistent, knocking on the doors, doing little side jobs, doing every single little thing that can possibly keep me busy, following up people who said no to me. And guess what? Persistence over 5 years.
Wins every time.
We've been over a time where you're just saying, I'm just going to rely on my talent. People are going to come to me. I'm going to bypass the guy who has way more talent and is kind of just relying on that than anything else.
I'll tell you this.
I agree with that.
When I was a kid,
I'm not the most talented.
Listen,
I'm persistent.
Dude,
it's important.
Yeah. This feeds right off what you said. When I was a kid, I was.
You were a kid?
Yeah, when I was playing basketball,
many moons ago.
When I was playing basketball, and before I went into college, right? I was going to see a personal trainer in the off season to try to develop my skills for the season, and he had a quote on his wall. He was a personal trainer. He had a small group of kids, and he was like the kind of trainer where there's like trash cans on the side. Says like, if you got to puke, go puke, and then get back on the court.
Yeah.
On the wall, he had a quote. It said, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Every time.
True.
Every time. He said, you could be the most talented player out there, but if you don't work hard, you're not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
He goes, the person that works harder than you will beat you out every single time.
Agreed.
And Kobe Bryant even says it too. He's like, he goes, imagine like when Kobe told the thing, he goes, his work ethic. He goes, imagine you wake up at 9. You work out from like 10 to 11, right? You go, you have lunch, you come back, you work out from like 2 to 4, and then you go home and you have dinner and then you go to sleep. And you did 2 sessions. He's like, now imagine you wake up at 4. You work out from 5 to 6.
3 sessions.
You go home. You have some breakfast. Now you're back at it again from 9 to 10. Then you go home. You have lunch. You're back at it again from 2 to 3. You go home. You relax. You're back at it again from 7 to 9. He goes, think about how much more work I have done just by waking up earlier.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he goes, and now go year after year after. He goes, the separation that you have from your peers just grows larger and larger and larger to a point where they can never catch up no matter how hard they try.
Isn't that like Michael Jordan? Didn't he do the same type of deal? Yeah.
It's like, and that kind of mindset, it's like, just put the work in. Like, it will happen if you put the work. Comes down to, and here's, and always people, a lot, like I was just talking to somebody the other day, we're talking about like the odds of becoming like a professional athlete or the odds of achieving whatever it is. They say, the odds of becoming a professional athlete are like less than 1%, and you should have a fallback plan. I said, no. I said, you know what the odds of becoming a professional athlete if you don't go after it are? 0%.
Yeah.
If you don't go after your dream and you don't put the work in and you don't try to go after it, the odds are 0. But if you do try to put the work in, at least you have a shot, and ultimately you keep putting it in, you'll get your chance. But if you don't put any work in, the odds are 0.
Of course.
That's just like you're saying with the cold call. It's like, when you're doing the cold call with Verizon and stuff, and you're like, I can make all these cold calls. I said, but you know what the chances of me getting a deal if I don't make any cold calls are? 0.
Yeah.
Listen, I built my business on...
The odds are 0 if you don't do it.
I built my business from the ground up, from just doing the work that no one wants to do. Being persistent, calling, following up, knocking on doors, the real nasty, gritty shit that no one wants to do. Yeah. You know what? Like, I get calls from people saying, hey, I know I've known you for the last few years, but things haven't worked out, but now it's my time to work with you. Perfect.
Because I remember you were saying like, should I go home today? No, I'm gonna make one more call. Should I go? No, I'm gonna make one more.
It's always that one more call.
It's like one more call, and it's like, you know what?
If you're thinking about it, just do it.
If you don't make that one more call, then you're definitely not gonna have the chance to get another deal.
That's how I.
But if you do, and then somebody else had said too that every no, because he goes, you think about it as like a numbers game, right? Let's say your close rate is 10%. So you make 100 calls, 10% of them are going to be you're going to get, right?
I think my rate was 3%.
Okay, so 3%. So 3%. Yeah. So out of 100 calls, you're going to get 3 people that you do business with. He said every no, I don't even remember who it was, but he said every no that I get,
it's closer to a yes.
It's that much closer to a yes, because 100%. If you think about it, it's the law of averages. Eventually, this percentage of 3%, 5%, 10% is going to even out in the long run. Mm-hmm. So if I'm at 100, if I have to do 100 calls, if I'm at call 90 or 95 and I've only gotten one deal, that means the next 5 calls are probably going to get 2 or 3 deals. Like if you just think about the numbers, and if I don't, then guess what? The next 100, instead of getting the 3 out of 100, I'm going to get 6 out of 100.
Yeah.
If you just think of it, because eventually the numbers even out. So every no is just
I like what you're saying, because I think the same way. I'm more of a numbers guy. Even I had a conversation with a buddy the other day, and he was like, "How you doing?" or whatever. And I go, "Well, this past fall, I bid it out. I think it was like 40 or 50 jobs up every night, 2:00 in the morning, bidding all these jobs out." He goes, "Well, how many did you get?" I go, "I think I got 3 or 4 of them out of 50." Out of 50. Out of 50.
All right, so yeah, it's like a 6%.
Yeah, 5 or 6%. Terrible percentage, but guess what? If I didn't bid them out, I didn't have a chance of getting them. You know what I mean? So that's how I saw it. So it's why not do it? I mean, listen, it's my time, and people go, well, you got to be paid for your time. I understand that, but you also gotta try to go for them. If you don't go for them, you're not going to get them.
Well, that's what I said. Like, if you don't go, then the answer is
how can you be paid for your time if you're not spending time on doing the things that you need to do?
With all those jobs, it's practice. So now my number got better every time. Mm-hmm. So now I know what they're looking for.
And it's like the everybody's got like that spiel, right? Like that sales pitch, and the more and more and more and more that you do it, you really fine tune it to the point where at that 45th, that 47th, that 50th call, it's like butter. Yeah, and just every question that they get on the 10th call, you might have got a question. You're like, I don't really know. I kind of answered that a little, I don't really know if I had the right answer to it.
Next time around, you got.
But now on the 20th call, you got. But they ask you something else on the 20th call, and you're like, I don't really. by the 50th call, you got every answer. It's just rolling off like butter.
You know exactly
and they're
what
like,
you're doing.
wow. And now 50th guy's like, man, this guy knows his stuff.
Yeah.
But that's where it comes back to learning. That's the failing and the learning.
And you also know what jobs are more profitable for you.
Yeah.
What's the when you're first starting out, you got to take whatever you can get.
Exactly.
Take whatever you get, as you already know. But as you do it more and more, you're like, all right, I don't need to do this job because they want me to do it, but I'm not going to really make money on it, and it's really not worth my time. I know I can make way more money doing this and spending less time doing it. And you can kind of filter out what works best for you, how to dictate your time.
Sometimes you do take those jobs, though, because you want to keep your men working.
Yes.
In my industry.
Yeah, just generally speaking.
You're not going to make a lot of money, but you're going to pay your guys, and your guys aren't going to leave.
Or you want to get in with somebody that can lead to more.
That's what I was going to get into. My next part about my business was the relationship. And I found out and I learned that the relationship is more important than the job. So in my industry, people you could give them a one hit, an absorbent number, and they take it, but they'll never ask you to work for them again. You know what I mean? Or you could form a relationship, ask them how they're doing, what they want to get done. You know what I mean? Give them a reasonable number, talk to them. That's not really my budget. All right, come down a little bit, and you form a relationship with them. And the next thing you know, you didn't make that much money on that job, but at the same time, they give you 20 more jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
it's like, do you want you get one job for $1 million, or you get 5 jobs for $500,000?
Yeah. Exactly, and in the long run, you're going to make more money than that $1 million job.
Yeah. The other thing too is it's like there's this mindset of abundance where you have to just understand there is plenty to go around. There's plenty of jobs and there's plenty of customers and clients. There's so many of them out there, and you can't get discouraged. Like that one.
You made that analogy once to something. I think your dad said there's all the money in the air. And you just gotta pick at it.
My stepfather owned. He was in the printing and the advertising.
I'm gonna take a quick leak real quick.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
So you want me to pause? Or you want me to just tell him the story? Okay. So my stepfather was in the. He's retired now, and he was a successful businessman in the printing and advertising business.
Okay.
Where he's got a really, really cool story. I'd actually love to have him on the podcast to tell about his story. Where he got into the printing business, where he was applying for the company, and the guy was just like, "Hey, do you know how to work this machine?" It was a big printing machine, and he's like, "Yeah, I know how to do. I can do that." And they're like, "All right, can you do this?" He's like, "Yeah, I know how to do both of those. No problem." They're like, "All right, can you start?" He's like, "I can start tomorrow," and they start right. He comes up the next day, and the guy's. He goes to the other guy that was working. He's like, "I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know. Can you tell me how to do it?" He just lied. Yeah. But that's kind of how he got it. And then he branched off, did his own thing, and he did printing and advertising, and he did a lot of the stores, like Sleepy's would have a back to school sale, all these things. He would do a lot of the printing and a lot of the advertising, all that stuff. But he was saying that he had this theory where he goes, "I viewed it as the money is just floating around." He's like, it's all around us. It's all in everything. This phone, this lighter, this glass. He goes, it's everywhere. It's just everything that you see. Somebody bought and sold it. It's just floating around. He goes, you just got to figure out your way of just freaking
grabbing
pluck it. Pluck it. He's
your little niche.
Yeah, figure out. He's like, because it's everywhere. Yeah. Literally everything you see in this room, these cameras, these stands, this mug, this cutter, this box, these signs, the light, everything was made, bought, sold, installed, rebranded, all that stuff. He goes, it's just there. You just got to figure out a way to pluck it out.
Yeah.
Pluck it out of here. Whatever it is that you do, figure out your section. I'm going to pluck this section of money right here. That's mine. And I'm like, it's kind of, and people are like, oh, that's such a stupid way to think about it. I'm like, no, but
it's not.
It's not. It's
not.
There, you can make money doing anything. Think about the dumbest shit that is out there on Amazon or here, and people make money. Somebody made money on it. The guy that made the little freaking umbrellas that go in the cocktails.
Yep.
There's a factory that makes those.
And he's probably $1 million.
And there's a guy behind it. Okay?
Yeah.
But I like that story because going back to my business again, and one of the sayings that when I first started was I used to tell my workers is fake it till we make it. That was our saying.
It's true.
Fake it till we make it. And I always tell one of my apprentices, he's been with me for a while now, and he's like, Mike, I don't know how to do this. I go, Adam, go to YouTube and fucking YouTube it.
Just figure it out.
And just figure it out. I go, I don't know how to do it either. And you know how I'm going to figure it out? I'm going to YouTube it. So we're doing right now, we just finished a Cube Smart in Elmsford. We did all the low voltage. I took an extra on it, and it was an intercom system for each floor. We didn't know how to fucking do it.
You're like, so, they go, do you know how to do it? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
no problem.
of course. I know. We can do it.
No problem.
Sure, why not? Sure. So we got down to the basics. We did the basics, you know what I mean? And we had a program or whatever. And I go, they go, how do we do this? I go, I'll show you how to do this. You got the instruction manual right there. See that phone number? Call that number. Call the number. Call the the main guy who like walks you through it. Walked us through the whole system. Fucking finished in 2 seconds. I was like, all right, there you go.
And you can
20 grand in my pocket.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
You know
Too,
what I mean?
like that's the other thing too. Is just like you could be doing a job. You're like, all right, I need you to do this extra. Can you do it? Yeah, I can do it. No problem.
I always say I have to say.
And
yes.
then they say okay, and then you get to the point where like, fuck, I really don't know how to do this. You're like, all right, you know what? Hold on a second. Call up the guy. Hey, listen, I'm doing this job right now. Can you give me a quote for how much it's going to cost to do this? And they're like, yeah, it's going to cost 10 grand. Cool, no problem. You go back to your, yeah, I could do this extra for 15 grand.
Yeah.
And they're like, cool, no problem, do it. You have the guy come in, he freaking installs it, you pay him his 10.
Yep, and
it's like,
you made
no
$5
problem.
grand on doing nothing.
No problem. And a lot of these big companies, they're
all doing it though.
They all do it, and they all have the money to spend because it's a tax write-off. They have a budget. They want to spend this because it's a right. Like, it's part of the expenses. It's part of them doing business. Like, this is, they make X amount of dollars, millions of dollars. Like, I really don't want to pay tax on this. So what can we do? Let's do a big project that can benefit us in the long run to eat some of this money. Yeah. So it's all part of the game. And like you said, when somebody says, I can do it, no problem.
Yeah, I even tell my guys, never tell me no, never tell anyone no.
I
will never say no to anyone.
All the time. When they would come in, he'd have a customer, and they would ask him for something that he's never done before. Like, oh, by the way, can you do X, Y, and Z? He goes,
not?
Yeah, of course I can do that.
Absolutely.
Like, no problem.
And you got to say it with confidence.
Yeah,
that
no
easy. Don't worry, we'll have it done.
And they'd be like, all right, can you tell me? He's like, let me. He's like, how many do you want? All right, let me talk with my guys. I'll give you a quote in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And he would just call another company that did it, like a truck wrap, and he'd be like, hey, how much is it going to cost you for a truck wrap? He'd be like, $100 a piece. Like, all right, no problem. He'd call them back up, $125 a piece. It was just, and I go, you really did that? He goes, yeah, I did that like on a weekly basis.
Funny story, going right into that is
hilarious.
Same thing with that Cube Smart. So we did all of the low voltage on the Cube Smart. We did all of the cameras, the WAPs, everything, on the one of the elms, right? So what I do actually on those is I call another company to do the terminations.
Yeah.
So my guys will run the pipe, they'll run the wire, they'll install the cameras, do everything, terminating the racks and everything. I call another company. Yeah. They come in, they do it for me.
And
charge a couple of dollars, and I upcharge it a couple more dollars, and then I give it a low price from what my guys did, and that's it.
It's business. That's
how it works.
That's how it works, man.
So that's why I never say no, because I guess what I know a guy.
Yeah.
I'll call another guy. I'll figure it out, or I'll call another guy.
Exactly. And I'll figure it out, or you're not. And it comes to the point where it's like you're not paying me just to do the job. You're paying me to get the job done.
Yeah. And
right?
It also goes back to
whether I do it or I have somebody else do it. You're paying me to get this job done. However I get it done is what you're paying me for.
Yeah.
And if it costs me X and I charge it, and if you don't want, then get somebody else to do it.
But here's the thing with that is you're calling someone else to do the job. They still think it's you, which technically it is you because you're paying those guys. But then it forms a relationship because you didn't say no to the job.
Yeah.
And at the same what was that?
No, it's fine. It's boxes.
You don't say no to the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, like, for example, they love me. They're like, dude, you guys did awesome. We're going to hire you more. Blah, blah, blah. We got like 6 other storage units now.
And then on top of that is now you made a relationship with the guy that you called. So now if you have another job and you tell this guy, like, hey, listen, this is kind of what I do. This is what I do for a living. And now I might have more jobs. I'm going to keep you in my Rolodex of people where if Rolodex, that's a...
I mean, you fucking threw that out there like it's people supposed to use that.
I'm going to keep you in my phone. Like, so now I get another job. Something comes along. I'm calling you. You're my guy.
Yeah.
Right? You're my guy. I got a job for you to... Now you build up... You become kind of like a GC.
Yeah.
You kind of build up these guys that are doing these niche jobs that you maybe don't...
The super at that Cube Smart told me at the end, he was basically like, I like to work with my same guys, and I tell my company. So he goes, when I go to the next one, he goes, I'm going to request Mike, I'm going to request you, and I'm going to request this, I'm going to request this guy. And the reason why is because he knows how we work.
Yeah.
He likes how we work, and he likes us.
And those guys...
There's your relationship.
And those guys, like, when they're doing those big jobs...
It's important.
They don't want to deal with 4 or 5 or 6 different people.
No,
they want the
same
convenience.
person.
They're like, because it's such a they're corporate. They're like, this is the job I need. You get it done. Don't tell. Just tell me the
It
price.
just goes back to what I said before.
I don't care. You're the guy I'm talking to.
It goes back to what I said before. People just want to pay people to know what they're doing. So when you make a relationship like that, it's like, all right, I know my guy Mike can do all this ins and out because he did the last 2 jobs perfect. He's going to be the electrician on every single Cube Smart in this area. Yes. No ifs, ands, or buts. And then boom.
And they like to be spoon fed. When you say, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. No problem. They're like,
they love the
great.
yes. Yes,
that's so much less that I got to worry about. Yeah. Spoon feed it to them.
Yep.
They love it.
Yeah.
And they love it. And like you said, when you do these corporate jobs, they have the money. When you're like, maybe I'm charging them too much. I don't know if I'm going to throw out that money. Throw out that number.
Yeah. The moment you say no, though, they'll never use you again.
Yeah.
You know, like, can you do this? No. Yeah.
Well, once you get to a certain point, like, you made it to a certain point in business where you can start saying no to people. Well, then they want you even more.
Yeah.
Well, like, what do you mean no? I need you.
Yeah. Like, cool. You did 3 of them.
Well, then it's going to be a premium price. It's a premium.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
I've heard that from other people too. It's like I got to a point now where I can say no, and they come back to me saying, "I'll pay you more to do it because I want you to do it." And I get, that takes time, obviously, but yeah.
I remember. I'm almost there. I'm just about there where I can say no.
Well, listen, you passed that 5-year mark.
Yeah,
that's a huge deal in being in business.
Well, what's hilarious?
They say electrical tenure is that mark.
In electrical,
yeah.
What's funny is when you get those customers that are like, they come to you and they're like, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, all right, well, it's going to cost this. And they're like, I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, all right, listen, like, you can go someplace. Like, this is what's going to cost me. Like, I got to do this, and this. This is the price. Right? It's the price. I can't go any lower. Okay. And then they try to go someplace else, and they're trying to get a cheaper job. They're trying to get it cheaper. And maybe it works in your industry a little bit different, but in my industry, it was like, I need this. I'm like, here's going to be the price. I'm going to go someplace. All right, no, it's a problem. No hard feelings. Like, listen, you get what you pay for. This is the value that we provide, and this is the cost of the and they go someplace else, right? And they're like, and then they come back 6 months later, and they're like, hey, listen, like, I really need this job. What can you do? Like, well, the price is not, and then you add 25%. Now's the price, and they're like
25%. I give the full price again.
No, whatever.
Full
like,
price again. No.
I charge. I'm like, now it's more. And they're like, well, it was this before. I'm like, listen, I booked up now. Like,
6 months.
I've got hit with that so many times.
And they're like, I'm like, well, you should have booked me then. Now, like, what do you want me to do now? And they're like, now they're forced because it's like, listen, what do you want me to do? Okay.
Listen, I got hit with that so many times where they're, you're too expensive. I can't use you. Okay. And they go, and Eric knows, go with the cheapest. Never a good idea.
Yeah. No, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. So I've had jobs where they literally, we're not going to use you. You're a little too high. I said, okay, that's fine. I get a call 3-4 months later.
They're expecting you to come back. And when you're like, no,
not even that. They'll use someone else. They'll use somebody else. And then I get a call 3-4 months later, like, this guy fucked up royally. He did this,
now
and
it
this.
More, yeah.
Yeah. Now they're like, well, can you come in and finish this guy's job? Absolutely not. No. Let me tell you why. Because now his work is going to be on my license. That ain't happening. No, I got to redo. And I've had this happen a bunch of times. I go, I'm going to give you full price for the job because you're going to pay for it twice because I have to redo all of his work to make sure.
Or even more because now I have to undo what he did and then start from scratch.
Exactly.
So now it costs you more.
And you got to realize there's a permit involved. There's inspections involved. My license, if I lose my license, I no longer am an electrical contractor.
And you can't do that. You're like, I will not pick up where somebody else left
exactly.
off. Because I don't know what they did.
Take all of his shit out, and I'm going to redo it again. I'm going to give you the exact same fucking price like this. Or even more, actually.
And now you're going to have to pay me more time because of the time it costs me to take out his shit.
And they'll come in and they'll pay it. Yeah. Because they're like, this guy screwed up.
And that's the problem. Is a lot of people like, they go with the cheapest option. Like, listen, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Okay? I've always believed on selling value over price. I do not try to sell on price. I said, because if you want to sell on price in our industry, just go to China. Get some cheap old thing over there. Like, you're going to get what you pay for.
Same thing in my industry.
If you sell on value, when people say, how much does it cost? Hold on. Before we get to that, let me just show you the technology or show you what we have to offer. Let me show you the value that we provide before I tell you the price. Because then you show them the value, and then when you get to the end, you see how much they're like, wow, this is some good stuff. Like, this is a lot of value here. And then you give them the price, then they're like, all right, well, now I see why it costs this. Yeah. As opposed to starting with the price, and they're like, it's way too high, and then they don't pay attention to anything you say. Let me tell you what we offer first. Yeah. Then we'll get to the price.
Yep. You know what a lot of my clients like is the fact that I'm very responsive. So a lot of contractors aren't responsive. So they'll maybe even go with that, but you get a relationship with me. You get, you if you call me tomorrow, I'll answer tomorrow. You know what I mean? A lot of times I'll get like, oh, I used you because I called you 10 times, you answered 10 times, and I called the other contractor 10 times, didn't answer once.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's it. So
sometimes it's. I mean, I find it in construction. It's like one of the biggest things. It's just
answer your phone.
Answering your phone.
How hard is that though?
Even if you can't answer, let them know I can't answer right now, but I'll get back to you. Just acknowledgement. And
even sometimes, like I totally get it. Sometimes you get a phone number, and like I do get a lot of. Sometimes I get a lot of spam crap.
I get so much.
I get a lot of spam crap. But sometimes I get a phone number, and if I don't recognize the number, and it's like, sometimes it's in an area where I'm like, all right, that's probably a cut. But sometimes it's like some really weird number. I'm like, I don't know what that is. And even if you don't answer it, and they leave a voicemail, like, hey, it's so and so. Give me a call back, whatever. Oh, no problem. What's going on?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't recognize the number, but I was doing something, whatever. Call them right back.
No.
Right? And then you have a conversation. Because sometimes you do get some spam stuff, or sometimes you miss it, but it's when they call and call and call and call, and you don't respond. If they call and leave a voicemail, and then you get back to them, that's understandable. People are busy, they're doing stuff, they miss it. That's the point of voicemail. But you call them back as soon as you can.
I call
That's what the voicemail
back.
is. Hey, my name is Justin. This is Justin. I'm sorry I missed your call. Give me a message. I'll call you back as soon as I can.
And sounds stupid, but I mean, it really goes a long way.
It really does.
And even like you had said with the relationships too, is what I found with some customers is what they really like. And we've said this before, is people don't necessarily buy the product. They buy the person who's selling the product.
Yeah.
They buy you, right? So in any industry, if you're going in, everybody's kind of got the same stuff. Like, I'm not saying that, like, you're an electrical contractor. There's a bunch of other electrical contractors that can probably do very similar work. Okay, they can all do the same thing.
But what if they don't answer the phone?
If they don't answer the phone,
Yeah.
Or what if they get on the phone with you and you're like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Did you catch the game last weekend? What'd you think of the game?" Like, you have a little chit chat, and they get to know you personally. They like that, and they're like, I'm going to go with him. You know, I'm going to get. He's got the same technology or same stuff that this guy has, but this guy was like kind of blasé on the phone. Yeah. This guy was really cool. Asked me about my family. We went out a cigar together. We were talking about the project.
Back to the cigars.
Always.
Back to the cigars.
Everyone buys
makes the win.
Just, in Switzerland, it requires 10 minutes of chit-chat.
Yeah. What I'm really asking, you dumb fuck, is will
you stupid American
screw me?
Yeah, no.
But that's the point. Is it's that.
And what about my money?
What about my money?
What about my money?
Well, listen,
honey, you got my money strapped to your tits right now. There's only much you can kind of work for me.
I don't work for you. Well, honey, you got my money taped to your tits. So technically, you do work for me.
But no, it is very, very true.
Really quick, in that movie, do you know when the guy, what's his name? The guy was working out. And he's like, "Tell your sister I was asking about it. Let him watch." You know, when he punches Jonah Hill. Do you know that he actually knocked him out?
Oh, really?
He actually clocked him.
So Jonah Hill, when they were directing, they were doing the scene, and he wasn't hitting him, and he was trying to, and he went to Martin Scorsese, and he was like, hey, listen, like, I don't really know if this is catching, like, if it's really looking the way he goes, what if he hit me for real?
Oh, Jonah Hill said that?
Jonah Hill's like,
wow,
what if
really?
he actually just hit me? And Martin Scorsese was like,
if you want.
So then they looked at the guy, and he's like, He's like, are you? Jonah's like, hit me, really hit me.
That's the Punisher too. That's
really hit.
Oh, he's a fucking beast.
So the next take, he hits him, and I think he like fractured a tooth or something. But like, I know Jonah was wearing fake teeth, but he hit him and knocked him out.
Oh shit!
And that was the take, and they were like. And then when he got to it, he's like, how did it look? He goes, it looked great. And they're like, there's the take. And he actually hit him.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
He goes, hit me. Just do it. Just do it. It's not looking the way we want it to look. Hit me.
No, it's true.
How did you think that the guy was like, really? I can hit you? Oh, he was
probably
he was like, let's go. Let him watch. Let him watch.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but yeah, he's a great actor.
I forgot his name too.
Actually hit him.
So, Mike, we're coming to the end of the pod here, my friend.
2 hours in.
Is it really?
Hour and 51.
Damn.
I had a great time today.
Hour and 51.
Didn't even realize it.
I know.
Holy shit.
You were saying you were a little nervous in the beginning, right? I told you.
It flies by. It flies by.
Bullshitting the whole time.
I know. Bullshit and get to know you. That's what it's all about. But we're coming to the end of the pod here where we kind of just like to plug away for yourself, your business, your socials, website, phone number, wherever people can find you, anything that's coming up or anything that you basically want to advertise for electrical business. Just plug away shamelessly. There's no shame here.
Lelia Electric over here. Lelia Electric is our Instagram as well. So if you just find us on Instagram, I don't really know what else to plug away on. I mean, I don't.
We'll put the website.
I'm not really selling anything. You know, I mean, I'm selling myself.
Yeah,
come join us. You know,
we'll put the website. We'll put the Instagram
in
the descriptions here. But yeah, listen.
You got any houses you want me to do?
Residential, commercial, industrial needs. We got a guy who knows here.
We do all types of businesses. You know, so anything that you need.
Electrical.
So,
we know a guy. Mike, we
know a guy.
We appreciate you coming on here, bro. I have a smidge left of bourbon. We thank you coming down from Westchester to come on the burn down.
Appreciate it.
And, get a little.
You want to do a little more?
Get a little topper real quick. So a little dab will do you.
A little dab will do.
Yeah, a little dab will do. There you
That's
go.
good.
Bada bang, my friend. So, Mike, as we like to say on the podcast, my friend, thank you again for coming on. Cheers, chin chin, and salute, my friends.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys on the next one.